Meanwhile, the Senate has postponed the passage of the 2023 budget, the finance bill, until Wednesday, 28th of December. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, made these announcements during Thursday's plenary, where he explained that the budget passage was postponed because of some challenges in receiving the report on the 2023 budget from the Appropriations Committee. He adds that the Appropriations Bill came to the National Assembly from the executive with some problems, and when the committee came to reconcile the figures, the challenge became obvious and difficult to deal with. Senator Ahmad Lawan added that the Senate Appropriations Committee kick-started a process of cleaning up the 2023 budget first, and they engaged the executive in a cleanup process. However, the process was concluded on Wednesday, December the 21st, and the committee could not conclude putting together the report for submission on Thursday. Let's talk security. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has assured all Nigerians and residents in the country of their safety and security during and after the youth-out season. The IGP reassured those who will be traveling or joining friends and relatives in public places for the Christmas and New Year celebrations that proactive measures have been taken and put in place to ensure they arrive at their destinations devoid of the activities of criminal elements. According to the police spokesman, CSP Muyiwa Adejobi, the IGP has ordered Assistant Inspectors General of Police in charge of zonal police commands and commissioners of police in charge of states, as well as heads of tactical intelligence and operational units, to ensure heavy deployment of officers in uniforms on highways, rail lines, waterways, airports, and at the various recreational centers within their jurisdictions. The IGP has similarly directed that officers should engage in visibility policing by ensuring that those on routine duties are in uniform and their vehicles marked with the names of their divisions, commands, or squadrons for proper identification by members of the public. And still on security, young ladies have been advised to be extra watchful before going into a relationship with men, as recent findings show that some of the male folks use their details to commit crime. Commissioner of Police Lagos Command Alabi Abiodun gave this advice while parading 14 suspects arrested for various crimes. Senior correspondent Ivy Kanu has more.
It's quite a while the command parade crime suspects in this fashion. The suspects were arrested across the state. Mentioned was the case of stabbing and killing of a police officer, ASP Abiano Hezekiah, aged 53, by two naval ratings, namely Seaman Namani Anointing and Onyekachi Egwim. The state police boss says, though it involves a sister agency, he vows that all involved will be brought to book.
There was a murder case committed by some two naval ratings against one ASP Abiona Ezekiel, aged 53 years old. The ASP died when the suspect stabbed and killed him during a traffic stop and search that generated into face-off at the satellite area of Lagos State. The suspect stabbed 3 other civilians in their bid to escape, and the other stabbed persons are responding to treatment. The command is currently working with the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, Minister of Justice Alausa Ikeja, to ensure that justice prevails.
Taiwo Amuruddin Abdurrahouf, aged 48. The police say he specializes in targeting ladies, then turn around to use their account details to defraud.
There was a case of fraud running to 20 million naira reported against one Taiwo Amuruddin Abdurrahouf. The suspect specializes in dating young girls and luring them to open new bank accounts using their personal information, such as name, international passports. Thereafter, the suspect will use the accounts to receive proceeds of fraud. The investigation led to his arrest in a hotel in Ogun State and the recovery of one Toyota Avalon saloon car.
He also spoke on crisis between his main and motorcycle riders at the Ikorodu area of Lagos.
They were enforcing the traffic laws, by arresting motorcyclists, commercial motorcyclists who were plying prohibited routes. And because of doing that, there was a problem between the Okada riders. The information I had is that they were trying to dispossess the police officer of his arms. And because of doing that, there was a discharge. The matter is being investigated.
He seized the moment to warn Lagos residents on the use of firecrackers during this season. Ivy Kano. TVC News, Lagos.
And Oyo Police Command has paraded some suspected kidnappers terrorizing travelers along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The suspected kidnappers had attacked and abducted an academic don and 7 other persons on the 28th of October while traveling along the road. Now, part of exhibits recovered from the suspects a sum of 7.5 million naira, including the newly designed naira notes, some ammunitions, live round cartridges, and AK-47 rifles. The police also paraded a father and son arrested for alleged possession of human skulls, as well as others for various crimes. And away from security matters, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has reiterated his commitment to actualize the smooth takeoff of a world-class edifice that will be a center for research for repatriated artifacts. He gave the assurance while on a tour of the Edo Museum of West Africa Art with the German Minister of State for Culture and the Media, Claudia Roth, in Benin. Paul Ezenwa reports.
Since 1897 invasion that led to the cutting away of the Benin artifacts, there have been efforts to see to its return. Here is the German delegation led by the Minister for Culture and Media, Claudia Roth, and was conducted around the site of the Edo Museum for West African Arts, EMOA, by the governor.
Because Edo people are still very creative. So the same people who created these world-class pieces 500 years ago, it's the same blood that flows in their veins today. Many of them are expressing themselves in different art forms and different media. But there is nothing institutionalized. There's no infrastructure to support that. So a facility like this will be that infrastructure, which will be second to none on the continent.
At the end of the inspection tour, the delegation moved to the Victor Owaifo Creative Hub, where the governor resumed the call for the restitution of the artworks from other parts of the world. Governor Obaseki believes the return will give room for his assets and help for research purposes.
How will these objects benefit the people of Edo and Nigeria? What research and education projects can come out of these returned artifacts? Would it mark the beginning of us trying to understand what these objects actually meant and mean to us?
The Minister for Culture and Media explained that there is need for the artworks to be brought back to the country.
Plundering and destroying cultural sites is a crime against humanity, a crime against that which should actually connect us, the human point in which everything is related to one another.
With this engagement, stakeholders are expected to make input in different areas to enable the actualization of the project. Paul Ezenwa, TVC News, Benin.
And now to Delta, where the state government says it is determined to continuously improve the 65% success rate of its job creation scheme through strategic training workshop for entrepreneurs. Iken Amechi has more in this report.
Since the 2019 independent assessment of the skills training, the Delta State government is working on ways to scale it up to 100% by continuous research, monitoring, and training to ensure trainees are better equipped in their chosen vocations.
The spiral, the multiplier effect of it, when they start working and start employing people and start affecting their families positively in terms of being able to cater for their respective families and then bringing up others as well. So there is the percentage, the success rate you are saying now is the one you can see on paper, but overall it is a huge success for the state government.
You know, for us in the borough, every time we start a new cycle, that's when we start our training. Every time, what we have in mind is always to have fully involved trainees.
An entrepreneur, an academic, Grace Omaji is here to expose these young entrepreneurs on how to run a thriving business in Nigeria.
We're talking about developing personal skills for leadership. And mainly, we're talking about integrity, stewardship, and being accountable in whatever position they find themselves. As I've told them, you cannot be a leader when you do not lead yourself. So the journey to leadership actually starts with me, yourself.
For these young businessmen and women, the workshop has given them a better opportunity to be their best as they prepare to start their businesses.
With what I've learned for the 4 months, I believe I'm good to go. And everything I've learned, especially today's training, leadership inclusive, I believe I'll be able to carry on and go out effectively with my business.
It will enable me to be a leader, and wherever I find myself, in whatever enterprise I find myself, to be able to stand out and be a leader by excellence.
Delta State is not relenting in its drive to reduce youth unemployment through skills acquisition and social investment program, which is the major thrust of the Governor Ifeanyi Okowa administration since inception. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.
You're watching TVC News at 6. We'll be back in a moment with more stories. Stay with us.
There is always more to a story than the screaming headline. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just a part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
And thanks for staying with us. Now to health matters. Cancer treatment experts and survivors have advised Nigerians to always go for regular screening and checkup in order to detect any form of cancer at the early stage. They made this known in Abeokuta during a sensitization and awareness program about cancer and treatment in Nigeria. They noted that cancer is no longer a death sentence once it is detected early and treated, and want Nigerians to always pay serious attention to their body and general well-being.
Medical care once that diagnosis, once they are suspecting of all this, when they feel that they are not sure and all that of anything, or they see any form of treatment that they're not sure of, or any form of disease, any form of ailment, particularly swelling. Commonly among the females, it is the breast or the cervix. For the men, it's either what we call aceton Yoruba or the prostate.
Early detection is the best. As a woman, even as the medical people have directed us, that once after your period, you do your checkup by yourself, so you know if there's anything.
Prior to 2019, the last time I did a mammogram was in 2015. And when I look back, I realized that if I hadn't done that one in 2019, which detected it early, I would have been a casualty by now. Because certainly I wouldn't have done it in 2020 or 2021 because of COVID. And yet it was an aggressive form of breast cancer.
And staying on health matters, 2 grants that seek to facilitate access to essential commodities and routine healthcare services for COVID-19 have been reviewed. Now, the grants will also strengthen the health systems in the country through targeted interventions for AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other diseases. Health correspondent Kemi Balogun has more details.
The unexpected outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic brought to light the need for strengthening healthcare facilities from the bottom up. Disruptions by the response to the pandemic caused a setback to many other interventions for diseases like malaria, HIV, and tuberculosis. This is why 2 projects were implemented to help address the shift in interventions and response to the diseases. The funding is under the ongoing Global Fund C19RM and RSSH grant as part of efforts to strengthen the healthcare system to respond adequately to future disease outbreaks.
Issues that brought about the devastation of COVID-19 are still here with us, which is our health systems, and we do still have the need to strengthen the systems for healthcare delivery. The devastation that COVID-19 was not just because of COVID-19, but because of the disruption to services on HIV, on tuberculosis, on malaria.
There's something unique about this particular project, and that is the way that the HIV, TB, and malaria communities are working together. As has been mentioned before, when you go down to the community level, those divides don't exist.
As the 2023 election draws closer, healthcare needs will still remain important.